Etaya TV Oborabu Wagusi.
Mwancho murigere weta TV unabotambekero rireri tukuri Jumamosi Ewikendi Chinsa Isano na Ibere nigo inche Kefa Nengo Bosire ngo cha studio kumanyaria agenderere gokorekana bosaro biri ukikoenekiwa korwa Chinsemo aho kwanere county ya Kisi ko yekwanere county ya Nyamira no nyanisiko yechi county Chiriroba Riagusi asebire bigane ngo kwarijanya ngo yamanya yondonsi asinchira yobwenge higo ikaranso ikewe ikomwero. Mwancho murigere weta TV ritukuri rero ritukuri chitariki 53 mutinyo gatatu nigo ensingima ego chengera abasubati nigo bona sengenche yomo waziri munene Musale Mudavadi anyarako bagagusangamo n'abasubati anamurukuru wa constituency usase bungeri ya Malava abwasanyere ko bagakoba bosemya wechingencho aho nigana mono Mudavadi anyarako bagagusangana boko kwanera uburayi bw'abasubati asensi ya Kenya na boigo kuba obosemya buna baranyarako bakwibwatirania nebyasara aho hiriko kubaba kuendelea kebogima orobotorio asenchira yobwenge.
To all Kenyans, the 8th of March is a big day for all the women and girls of the world. It is a moment when we celebrate their success, their progress, and we also renew our desire to help them surmount the challenges across the globe. I, on behalf of the Kenya government, would like to really ask everybody to join us in celebrating the International Women's Day, which is the 8th of March 2025. We want to focus on their achievements. We want to be able to encourage them. We want to get rid of gender-based violence. We want to be able to make sure that they get a fair share of all the opportunities that are available in every sectors of our economy and all economies globally. So it is a moment to thank God and to really celebrate our women and our girls. They are our mothers, they are our sisters, they are our teachers, they are the humanitarian voice all over. And we must make sure that they're able to nurture society in an environment of peace.
Igobona togotebanga Happy International Women's Day abasubati bonsi kubakwanira abaitoga Etaya TV naboigo bonsi asiriro bari turi gusia yarisha bikiri turi bokemo uri turigere team Etaya TV togotigana itogenda gwekase county ya Nyamira abo asumubura ko yomo uyuboigoro muremavu asireta Regina George kurwase kinyurukiri kyamigungo ikigotoka se wodiria ya Bunyamatuta asebungeria ya West Mugirango imeye county ya Nyamira nigobono abwatekiria kogokera ya magiga yuko Chinyumba Ibere na engineer James Kemoni uyo orukiriganga yo kirigekero kyobo governor ase county ya Nyamira kuyakwana ya igakera sanganita TV ase kanisiri ya Adventist ya Nyegesa chiga kibasangesa batamona Kemoni ase kanise yo nigobono Regina goteba buna nigo konyago twerwa na komenya nabana baya bamura abo bare abane na senyombe yo korende nigobona mwire nirimbiya mono James Kemoni ase okumubakira chinyombe cyo asibona ganiro ndebwensi ogwatomoyo bogwancha komokonye ndagira yo kubwatakana mono bare maboria abwate kurase county yo no roboti urutwasanga na bwego gutumira no muri Keito Ogero Peter
nabwato muchando lingo monene mono igo nari gutwerwa nabwate nanye ni nyumba asinamenyete nanye nasabana bari kurara igo bari kurara nyumba yaringi bunige sumu lakini nagokire sana korora mwesimi wa Kimoni oyobete gagosoyo koboko kwae akabokunga gachire nyumba akabokwa gachira nabana bane abakabwatirana ni kanisa ya Nyegesa SDA alafu yabo Fred Omingo nekiyombekeri kia Nyabotege ngo bairanirimbiya mono asoko boko kuri mwasoeti nyasaba iraniri nanda abaseseni nanda abamentere mogendere boigo tebasa ko banga ninchi bweka mo konya mogendera gokonya nundu chandike
okonyirwe nyomba nesaiga y'omwana togoteba mbuya mono ase omoisimiwa Kimoni egasi agokora amenterwe naende agenderere
Kimoni James Kimoni ng'ambia mono ase eng'enche emeremo akorire yogokonya omong'ina okorokwa Rechina oyokonya ogotwerwa
omong'ina Rechina George na irete okoboko kwane nkamobekera akanyomba ari tukoshirikiana n'echami ya ekenyori eke kia Nyaigesa igo rero nacha koba kweneki na maiso nyoroki obosi bw'abantu naende ninchendo egasi nakorire ngai yaiki igombo benakoro igati nkore tubo
inde na mogoko ikiagera omwesimiwa twabwateranete ase eng'enche okonya oyo minto Rechina rero achire bakase ekanisa yaitu erindaro re ekanisa ya Nyaigesa STS togosasimera ona into nabo tware goteba Nyasaye amusenie amogitere gakona korigia ekero geke gakio bogabana Nyasaye tamotiga naende atwara amabera amanene akonye bonsi buna nyara kobaga okonyo oyo minto Rechina
twagokire mono ase eng'encho omwesimiwa achire korora ase abegete product yae nabo twagokire ekiagera naitwe buna ekanisa ya Nyaigesa CDA ntwabeta amo ase eng'encho yogosira Rechina nabang'ina tokagoka mono ekiagera mwairire okoboka ase eng'encho yogotosupporteri omong'ina oyo
Mwancho muri bwana tugotigana nayo kurende gutigara se county area ya Nyamira niko bono abananchi kurwasa omuchuri okeroka iyo egotoka se ebungeria ya Kitutu Masaba banyereko bagwesoke nako kwanira taro y'umurayiwe kema ke ODM mawazi Raila Odinga abo asanyereko bagutare county ya Kisii asaba igo banyereko bagokwanira weso ikwa ya serikali bosikunyarako bakogwatanamo n'umurayiwe nse William Ruto abona se abamenya bayigabe Chinseme icho cya keroka batebire abarabotiri barichikomo bwatesia komosira Raila Amolo Odinga korende nigatebire nga ekerenge kenene niganyariko bagakumweba omugusi na igo bono nigo batebire korengana barabunga nigo barachikomosira Fred Matiang'i asobochere bona mu mwaka w'ikirubere na 2025 na Ibere
Marieta ni ongor Samuel Motari araya siri Nyamara chairman ya bunge la mwananchi keroka amangana mheshimiwa former prime minister Raila Amolo Odinga na achete abagusiyuma tetu kwa moyo nere akitaka umira abantu babere batatu igo agakwana na barobwa agasoka akagenda ese ng'encho ntuna Raila ntwabwatokana kuno mugusi twatikana na Raila pi Raila nande buna aikire miaka 80 Raila tegagenda timoke gobono togotebi Ruto na Raila tigabara bakore korisu ni abo bakora lakini abana inkinto cyandegete mwandi babwatana iga chibando chike obusiboke ananga abatari Raila twaje totokanywane Conman agwa kama sakara ya no muntu konia utagete kibesa Raila uminto toko mote yagenda timoke ntunto bwate Matiang'i nanda agotenga Matiang'i nga ntwa bagusinga nege sakwegeke agoto tebinga mungusita isaini ngoto ntuna baikoyo baende ose Matiang'i abaruya gojia chensi yonsi bikenye ngima gojia iga ese ngenja korete gasi yarenge ngiya
asiki siasa Kenya sitoikeire bono iga omogaka Raila ogotire atoke bwae bondo atumoke
tate ko boli jensi bosi pi moroje kure history omogaka Raila ndo amubwatisetie ke twabiare tutwamonyoete geti twamubwati siri twatemire komominyokia twanyore ngo omogaka Raila tatwanje timu na into abagusi oyo mokiro airo ebirogo ire byose bogere tate ko baboli ga aba Kenya in general in large engaki bona ya keire nengaki tutate ko chikonyoro mo Kenya oranyare ko jari amashira ya aba Kenya bonse pi no murai twarigereri mutu na magega abantu bonsi pibanjire no musika Matiang'i.
Raila anaingia, unajua ameingia kwa serikali, siku nyingine pesa zikapotea. Kumaanisha sisi wananchi tutaendelea kuteseka. Hatujui ni kwa nini. Hao watu tutawatoa kwa serikali. Kwanza hii maneno ya SHA haifanyi na tunailipia. Hatupati matibabu hospitali. Shida ni nini?
Igobona mangana itu akandile Matiang'i muntu oranyare ko moteneni etogota bune mbulembe
Wego mwanchu murigere gwita TV niko tugenda tukuyobwati umuyiga gwo komwenia uyo kabiro munyakerugo we ekyombe kirigetenere tobo chori n'ikimbebe imeyensi ya Kenya ukona IBC wafula Chebukati umuyigo yogendrete bono ime ye Chinsa mujiri cya Kiminini county ya Trans Nzoia Kitale igo bono tugenda tukuyobwati asobwanki monyorenga uyo kabiro munyakerugo nyagusira wafula Chebukati nigasireti obugima bwayo mweri bw'umutinyo eta na igo bono nigo umuyigo iboko mwenyo gendrete Chinsa mecho cya Kiminini na na boigo nkomanyunga baraya bange kigima bage siasa nigo banyara ko bawikirana Chinsa mecho na sebono iga oyo nyara ko bagakora gukwana nigare omwanchoye uyumanyikana Meri Chebukati Wanyonyi oyubono onyara ko bagakuyarira mange bunabanya two bakonyorana na omwanchoye bagotebanga umwaka wirwe mu kimikana 56 nigo baumera nite Chinsa mu kiri county ya Mombasa kurende bagacha bono bakore inyangi bagacamo umwaka wirwe mu kimikana 1990 igabona gakoreraga buna magombo kima tiango tramugwa Madam Meri Wanyonyi Chebukati.
1988. You were then running your law firm, Wanyonyi and Company Advocates. I will fast forward on my tribute and remember that because some of the things which have already been said, I will not repeat them. I remember when you ran for the MP seat in Sabata. Saboti, sorry. I said Sabata because Rachel said Sabata. In Saboti, Trans Nzoia. You were adamant that I accompany you to the campaign rallies, but I resisted, wanting to focus on our young children, the young family, while also managing my job because I was I was working in the public sector in the Coast Province. You didn't want to hear about it. You wanted me by your side during the campaigns. I didn't understand why, but over time I realized that while you needed my support in your public life, you were also committed to ensuring that I was never in harm's way. We lost the election, as Rachel says, and when we lost the election, the commissioner didn't allow the results to be tallied. When we went to the hall after elections, when he kept on realizing that our form, the agents form 30, that time they were calling them 16A and B, that our 16A was different from their own 16A, and we had the agents who had signed. What happened is he realized there seemed to be a difference and a divergence in the results. So he suspended the tallying and he said, go home. We shall notify you when to come back. Indeed, we were notified to go back around 2 a.m. When we went back, the tallying did not continue. He simply announced the result. Of course, we had lost with a very small margin. My husband, being the lawyer that he is and the person who demands for his rights, set up a team. I remember my sister Helen was in that team. They were sitting in some hotel somewhere in Kitale, tallying, comparing all the forms. And by the end of it all, they felt that we had been denied our election. So we kept our forms in our house and we said we need to rush back to Mombasa where we lived. We had left the children at home and we said we were now going to put up a petition. So we left this box full of our Form 16As in the house. And while we were heading home, there was a lot of fracas that time. That was 2007. Getting out even was a bit of a problem. But somehow we found our way to Nairobi. We posed at my parents' house, and then we proceeded. But just before we got to Nairobi, we got a call from somebody, and he asked us, do you have anybody in the home? And we asked why. He said, because we have told there are 2 police vehicles, Land Rovers, that are headed towards your home. Said, oh. So they said, make sure there's nobody at home. In the next 1 hour, our home had been raided. Nothing was taken except our nice little box which had our Form 16As. So there went our evidence. We could not petition. Rachel has given you the rest of the story, how determined he was. And I'll tell you, he tried looking for that commissioner. He has not found him until today. Because he really felt he was unfairly treated. Now, those early days, though his friends called him Cheb or Chairman, He had these very good friends, Lumatete Muchai and Peterson Semenye, who kept him company in the early years. I used to call him honey, I would call him darling. That is when we had got married. So when Rachel came along, of course the name changed. We became Baba Rachel and Baba Rachel. So the honeys and the darlings disappeared. That's why I decided to have my flower here with honey on it. At least now that the children are grown, I can still call him honey. But honey, I have to call you honey because I'm saying bye to you. I was transferred from Mombasa. I used to work in Mombasa, then later to Kwale. I was transferred because I was outgrowing the station. But because of my family, I did not want to leave. But my bosses at the National Treasury insisted that I had outgrown and I have to move. So I moved to Nairobi. I didn't know how to tell my husband to join me because you don't tell a Luya or a Bukusu man to follow you when you are transferred. They will not. So I started by pulling Rachel slowly for her studies in Nairobi. I pulled Jonathan, and then I left Emmanuel behind with him. Emmanuel has given you the story because I used to do the cooking. Now there were the two of them. They didn't want to employ anybody to work for them, and Emmanuel has explained to you how they ate the mud fishes. So with time he knew.
Nkwana yogo ichani kegima kurwase Madam Mary Chebukati Wanyonyi igobono ritukeri ganigagene tukwenwa ase Chinsa mjuri cha Kiminini Kitale county ya Trans Nzoia sumo iga ndo chabono iga na marandi agendre tekegima ingana yogo seme kegima guchia sebari banyara kwa bawikana na Chinsa mecho na boigo konyara kwa bago tema kwa batinya mariga na boigo Etaya TV niko tukutuma mabomba ito guchia se ya mateyo ya nyagusira wafula Chebukati yo kabere munyakerogo bekyombe getenete obochorine chimbebe minyensi ya Kenya busokwanira IEBC kodo mwanchu muri Etaya TV kando cheche minjo chidake komunisa na Ibere maga yokoraga Chinsa Isano na Ibere niko bono nguchiko ya buturabo amaya Etaya Ewikendi Chinsa Isano na Ibere kodo nyorenga chidake komunisa to chirabo syo nchikore na meje studio to chigutware nkwana ye chigosori imeyo mu rubere weta chigosori abo asenda chigusangamo nabagani bana bungoma nyangwa bayikira sense mwende studio gukonera Mr Dennis Omari oyoro munyakerogo wechigosori chisikuru cy'uburosa se county ya Kisii nabego Mr Evan Somosa oyoro muriki omone ase county ya Kisii chigosori cyo chisikuru cy'uburoso nabego ngoma nyangwa Dennis Omari ngaro mugachia se regional level ngobona ina chikotomunya se kekerebo sikongor kwa Kefa Nengo Bosire mbyamano kimasoko ya Etaya TV genda kubwati mitandao yetu yonsi Etaya TV ase Facebook nabego YouTube Etaya TV.